Uh, Welcome back to episode number 7. I am Lindsay Hack and here with Lisa. Number 7. I know, how great is that? We've been doing this for 7 months, which is insane when you think about it. But then I also laugh because we've been doing this as a you and I relationship has been
for
8.5 years.
Yeah,
So
8.5 years. We just celebrated 8 years, and with me working out. We're in year 9 of me doing my training. So see, that just shows once I make a commitment, I'm all in. We just
good.
talked about that, didn't we? About the all in
Yeah,
thing. And
totally.
I just walked into year 10 with my business. So
It's
yeah,
amazing. It's
I
amazing.
know.
It's amazing.
It's
Well,
like,
we are
holy
on
crap, where
episode
did the time
7.
go?
I know. We're on episode 7 and we're breaking the all or nothing trap. Funny segue into that beautiful conversation.
Right?
building wealth with consistency instead of chaos. So, Lisa, let's talk about the wealth truth bombs around the all or nothing mentality.
Okay, well, this is easy for me. The fastest way to stay broke is swinging between those extremes. You know, one month you're splurging, one month you're white knuckling your money or hoarding it aside and can't spend anything, can't, you're going from this extreme to this extreme. And, because you're like, oh crap, I spent all this money. I can't do that. And that's just honest to goodness, because I've been there. That's just a constant stress. It's like a merry-go-round and if you're old enough to know merry-go-rounds, because I know they're not everywhere anymore, it's just a merry-go-round that just spins fast and fast and fast and goes absolutely nowhere. And it doesn't build wealth. And it's enough to give you whiplash, honestly. I know, again, I'm one of those all in or nothing kind of girls, and I've had to retrain myself not to be.
Yeah. And, I find it so interesting because most people understand the concept of all or nothing when it comes to health and eating. Okay. So all
hmm
is, I'm going to go keto. I'm not going to have a single thing. It's going to be amazing until it's not. And we've all been there. I know I've been there. I know you've been there. Most people who are over the
All
age of
the
15
things.
have been there.
Totally fat free, butter buds. Like
Mhm.
this shows my age. Okay. Those, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's one of those things where we understand it when it comes to health. Now, I'm not saying it's right, or I mean, I definitely don't agree with it. I'm like you, Lisa. I had to really, really change the way that I do things because I was an all or nothing. When I was on, I was spot on. Like there was nothing that could sway me. But when I was off, I was a shipwreck. And so that's not healthy for us in any way. But when it comes to money, right? When it comes to actual wealth, like the thing with it is that, I don't know about you, but this is how I felt. And I know when Lisa and I first met, this is how I was. It was like head in the sand mentality. If I don't know, it won't hurt me. It won't harm me. I won't know anything. So, when I sat down with her on our very first like money management meeting or whatever it was called back then, she's like, so, and I'm like, I don't know. She's like, well, what? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, how do you run your business that way? I don't know.
I don't
Right. So
know.
it really was the numbers. I was like, I either was on them and I was really good, or I was completely off them and didn't know anything. And that stress is out of control. We know this, right? So wealth doesn't come from those extremes, right? It
Mm-mm.
comes from consistency and alignment. And I will even add awareness, right? And we want to consistently move forward with what we're doing, whether it's, adding some money to our savings account, paying off our debt, whatever it is, the alignment of who do we want to be, right? That future you,
Yeah.
what is she doing? Does she want a house? Does she want to travel? What is she doing? And then the awareness. What are you currently doing? Right. I know Lisa talks about this a lot and I talk about it.
Awareness is huge. I mean, it's the
Huge.
first step. Sometimes it's the hardest, but I mean, I'll tell people all the time, and you've heard me say it in our episodes here. You can lie to me if you want to. You can lie to Lindsay. You can lie to whoever, but you've got to be able to sit down and be honest with yourself. Awareness is the first step. And once you have that awareness, the rest, I don't want to say it'll be easy,
Hmm.
and it'll be easier.
It'll be easier. Yeah. And that's a really actually great segue into our wealth lie this week, which is if I go all in and save everything, I'll finally get ahead. And that is a lie that you tell yourself. Yeah. Like I said, like Lisa said, you can lie to me, you can lie to her, you can lie to anybody. But if you lie to yourself, you are not going to get anywhere.
um, Listen. as someone who thought um, that that would work, honestly, that's kind of, actually, it's not kind of, it's just like a crash diet. It
Mm-hmm.
is just like you're going to eat totally fat free, or you're going to eat salads 5 days a week. And then you can have on your fifth, sixth day, you're allowed to splurge and have a box pizza with only God knows what in it. I'll raise my hand. I've done it. I've done it. Um, and it works until it doesn't. Here's
Mm-hmm.
the thing is just like, okay, if I was going to Starbucks, by the way, I can't stand Starbucks. No offense to any of the ones do. Okay. But if you're going to Dunkin' Donuts, you're going to Starbucks, or if you're going to there's a place that I absolutely love, thank goodness is not here. And I can't even think of the name of it. But if you're going to these places and the coffee is $5, $6, and you're going 5, 6 days a week, and your awareness, you come in and you see how much you're spending on that. And then you decide, okay, no more. I'm cutting it all out. That's like me saying I'm not going to cut out sugar. Okay. And if you know me, I'm from the South. If you know me even more, I don't drink coffee. I drink sweet tea. Now, I've cut back on the amount of sugar that goes in my sweet tea, but for me to say I'm going to cut out all sugar or cut out all fat, it works until it doesn't. It's a crash
Mm-hmm.
diet. And all you're doing when you try to say you're going to save instead of spending something is um, you're 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 starving your joy. You're starving having fun. You're not. That's not real wealth, because all of a sudden, what's going to happen? Just like what happens on and Lindsay, you've seen it with, right, the no fat diets and all that, right? All of a sudden, what's going to happen is you're going to crash and burn, and all of a sudden, you're going to go explode on splurging on whatever, you can get your hands on. And real wealth, just like real health, it comes from repeatable systems that don't break the moment life happens. And
Yeah.
that's the big key. It's something that Lindsay has I think burned into my brain over the last 8 years. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And I say the same thing with my clients, a different way, but I say the same thing. So we do small steps over time. Those small steps add up. And
Mm-hmm.
I've had to retrain my brain to see that health it works the same way. And it's just, it's a lie. It's not going to happen. You are going to go nowhere.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the all or nothing mentality, I know, as I said, I always say I'm a recovering all or nothing person, because I was really,
Oh,
really into
definitely.
it. It gives you that false sense of control, right? Oh,
Hmm.
I'm not going to buy a Starbucks or a Dunkin's. Oh, I'm not going to have fat or sugar or whatever. But it is really that it is false control, because what ends up happening is you absolutely blow it on, something, because you can't maintain that, because it's not realistic to maintain it long term. And really it's that consistency. And you will hear me and Lisa say consistency is king a thousand
Cracking record.
times, right? Like a broken record, because you never feel like it's slower, for sure. Don't get us wrong. We're not talking, if you
And very
consistently save,
aggravating.
yeah, if you consistently save $1 every day for 30 days, that's 30 days. But guess how much it is at the end of 365 days, right? Consistently over time. What tends to happen is people go all out, balls to the wall kind of thing. They want to save, $100 every week, or, eat no sugar or whatever. And then you lose, because ultimately you can't do that for forever. And we all know this. And
Well,
so
because
it
life
really is a
happens.
big one. Oh God.
I mean,
I mean,
when life
everything
happens, I
happens.
mean, y'all, in the 8 years that I've been working out with Lindsay and we've been doing the things, and even when she worked with me, life happens. And, it's something my coach actually said to me, life is always going to happen. There's always going to be chaos. What we
Always.
need to be able to do is who are we going to be in the chaos? Can we be that calm in the chaos? And how we're able to be that calm in the chaos is us by having those small steps that we do, not the extreme steps that we do. And having those small consistent things is what keeps us on that track when life happens, because again, life is going to happen. I mean, we can't stop it.
Absolutely. We can't. It's like sitting around and being like, I'll start when it's less stressful. When is that again? When is that exactly? We're not sure.
But isn't that kind of like what I remember when I reached out to you too, right? It was right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was right before the holidays when we started. And I was like, okay, do we need to wait to this? And you were like, no, we're going to meet a couple days a week. We're just going to get started. And we're not going to worry about the fact the holidays. We're not going to try and cut back on anything through the holidays. And then, but we got the consistency started those 4 months because it was in September. So we got consistency started right during those things. And I noticed that I didn't want some of the things as much as what, because we'd already started that consistency.
Right. And I mean, obviously, September through December is a pretty crazy time of year, but guess what? Then you
Hello.
have Valentine's Day, then you have birthdays, then you have like, it's just, there's always going to be something. And, this is again, another segue into kind of what we talk about with our AI wealth glow up, because really the reason that I love AI vision boards or images, et cetera, is because they're powerful tools that really help instead of extremes, right? Like I want the yacht or, whatever it is on the other side of that, you can actually design your visuals in balance. And I like to call them milestones, right? And we use it in wealth, we use it in health, right? Your milestones are imagining each one and then checking off your accounts as you go. So for example, you have a savings account or 14, depending who you are, Lisa. You have a savings account. And then every month you check what you've done in that savings account. If you go to the gym, I have an app that tells me how many times I've gone to the gym each month. And that's the accountability. It's the same with your AI images on your vision board, right? It may be too extreme to have you swimming in a pool of $1 billion. Like that may feel too much. So what we do is we create those milestones so that we design the visuals so that you can have each of them separate, right? I have a client who really wanted to be on a TEDx stage, right? Big stage. We love that for a business perspective, all of that stuff. And I said to her, hey, have you ever spoken in front of people before? And she was like, no. So if you imagine a pendulum, that pendulum swing is like never spoken to somebody before, all the way over to a TEDx stage, which is a massive audience, and then tens of hundreds of thousands of people on YouTube watching you. So I started with her going to her local networking group and standing in front of 10 people at a coffee shop. And then the next image was us, she was standing on a stage of, 20 people. And then we built and eventually got to the TEDx stage, but it feels less scary. And last month we talked a lot about our nervous system and do we feel safe, et cetera. So this all plays a role in that. But what we're doing is we're taking those milestones in separate places, transferring the small amounts, right, to the next one, to the next one. What does that sound like? That's savings as well, right? Transfer it, saving, celebrate, and then move it over again and celebrate and move over. So we really, really like to use the idea of these images as a visual to help you see what's possible, but not overwhelm you or your nervous system to think that's impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AI can help you literally picture yourself doing the boring but wealthy daily habits. I mean, my AI vision board has got pictures of me working out. It's got me doing my podcast. It's got me speaking on stage. And one of my goals is to speak on a bigger stage, eventually TEDx. So it's got me standing on the back of my porch overlooking my backyard with my pool, right? It has these images and they're able to say, it shows you what, okay, like I said, those daily boring but wealthy habits, that what we just talked about, consistent habits is what's going to, what's going to get us there. I mean, instead of fantasizing about the big sexy end result, right? We're seeing, oh, hey, because it disciplines us.
Hmm. And it's so interesting too, in the health and fitness world, we call it the boring basics, right? Same thing, right? How many times have you heard, drink your water, go to sleep, move your body, right? Eat protein. It's like, oh God, it's so boring. Yeah. boring basics, right? Because those are the things that are
And
really going to
yet, when I
help.
don't go to sleep as early as I was for a while and I get back to the old habit, I realize how horrible I feel from
Oh,
it.
funny how that works. Funny
I
how that
know,
works.
right?
All right, so we're into fix my finances. So these are questions that are brought in from you guys. We love hearing from you because,
Love
of
them.
course, Lisa and I talk about what we think you want to know, but when your questions come in, we're like, ooh, that's interesting. So question this month is: I try to budget, but I swing between not saving at all and then trying to save so aggressively that I burned out. How do I find balance? Lisa.
Okay. Well, first of all, I've been there, and second of all, you're not alone. Okay, that's I think that's just the huge thing. Um, it- what you need to do is you stop trying to overhaul everything at once. Okay. Start slow, start with percentages. Maybe that's you, if it's your business, you're looking at allocating small amounts to make sure that the certain amounts going into your taxes, certain amounts going into an owner's pay so that you're paying yourself consistently, and then adding like a wealth building. You know, 1% builds a muscle of consistency. If it's your personal, okay, what is the top thing that you want to make sure you have money for? Like for me, it was my girls and their school supplies and my vehicle, right? So, okay, I want to make sure I have money for that. Okay, how? So I just started with those two things, right? And small, consistent accounts. Now, when you add it up, and I'm like, oh, well, I need to be able to put $300-400 in there, and I can't do that. Okay, don't put what you can. Y'all, when I started
Mm.
mine, I was putting $10 a month, and eventually it became $10 a week. I didn't start out putting all the money that I put in the accounts. And when life happened, kind of, Lindsay's going to be able to use this against me later or for me. I scaled back. Scaled. I dialed up. I dialed back. I dialed back on how much was going in those accounts. So if life happened and the business revenue went down a little bit, instead of just stopping putting the money in the accounts, I dialed it back. Okay, I can't put this much money because the fluctuation and me being paid, right? Okay, well, how much can I put? So again, I didn't stop it, I dialed it back. That's being able to be consistent and actually, again, having the awareness of your numbers. I will say knowing and having the awareness is probably the biggest thing that you can do. So, first of all, you have the awareness because you had to have the awareness in order to ask. And so I think that that's huge. So please give yourself credit for that. Now look and say, what's one thing I want to start doing that I can start doing each day? And then do that for the next 30 days or next 14 days, and then add a second thing and then go from there on that like that.
Yeah, and I love that because when we look at obviously what I do when it comes to AI imaging, what I like to do is I like to create and transfer that 1% every week, right? So instead of the TEDx stage like I used in the last example, it was the small BMI community. There was like 4 people at her BMI event. She stood up at the table. She wasn't on a stage. She wasn't. So we're working into that because then you also, as Lisa was saying about her vision board, I know she has it close by. I have mine close by. When you're seeing yourself every day doing those things, right? Maybe it's literally taking a penny off the street and put it into a piggy bank. I mean, that's obviously the most extreme example. But if you're seeing yourself often enough, that version of you, it's really, really powerful. And then going back to what Lisa said about her backyard with her pool, this is her dream. This is her big goal. But things she does every single day is playing into that dream, right? I mean, again, we're not sitting here being like, come to me and we don't do it. That would be the magic wand that
Nope,
Lisa
it
wants
is
to.
some boring daily steps, let me tell you.
Right.
And I get quite
Mm-hmm.
aggravated sometimes that it hasn't happened already. And again, it's because, and I'm sharing that because somebody else is probably thinking it. You're human. I promise. Lindsay's thought the same thing when it comes to her money too. All of us
Mm-hmm.
have. And
Yep.
if we say we haven't, again, we're lying. And so that's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, use the AI has been a huge, huge, huge help for me staying focused and keeping that steady, consistent action.
Yeah. And again, it is hard, right? As Lisa said, and when you're sitting there being like, okay, I want to save to buy a house, for example, and you're saving a penny a day, of course it feels like it's forever. But as you build and work and work and then have that kind of image in front of you so that you are that future you that you can look at, then every thing that you do matters towards that bigger goal. And it's that reminder of that bigger goal, because it can get very murky in those waters, right? It can get very moody in that storm. We all have been there. And I say that, jokingly, because I know what it's like. Lisa knows what it's like. Anybody listening to this knows what it's like when I say that. And when the going gets hard, and this is what I say all the time, which it will, having your AI vision board, having those images of you looking back, it doesn't solve the problems, of course. Like I said, no magic wand here, but it helps keep that mindset to be like, I am doing this for X. I am doing this to TEDx stage. I'm doing this for my business. I'm doing this for my health. I'm doing this for my house, whatever it is. Front in mind keeps you helping, keeps you motivated. So it really, really does help. All right. We like to end these episodes with a challenge of the month each and every time. And like we said, we want you to go away and try something and hopefully see how it works. And then, of course, if you have questions, you can always send it to us. But the challenge this week is pick one simple money habit and do it daily. Like Lisa just said, it could be checking your accounts. I know that's a big one on hers, is always be checking your accounts. Maybe it's transferring 1% into savings. Maybe it's tracking your spending. What we do in my family is we actually have our credit card have what it's called. I don't even know what it's exactly called, but if you spend 25.32 cents, it takes that extra cents to the nearest dollar and always puts it in a savings account. And you just never see
Call
it.
it roll. They
right?
call it roll up. Yeah.
Roll up. See, I don't know if
Or roll over. Roll over.
Right. So it's not big leaps, right? It's just steady action that you are taking every single day. So pair that with your AI vision board if you have one. If you don't, definitely let me know. I can help you out there. But creating that image to show you doing that action consistently. I'll tell you, one of the things I'm doing right now, I'm working on my own money mindset, as we all should be doing all the things, is anytime any money hits my account, I have a sound. It's basically a blowhorn with some songs, and I dance. And I dance to it. And it doesn't matter if I'm in the grocery store, the gym, or my backyard, I dance to it. And I've got to the point now where my husband dances to it, my kids dance to it, because we're celebrating the fact that it's a $2 to a $3,000. It does not matter. It's money hitting the account. So it's a celebration. So doing the actions consistently, it makes it fun. That for mine, of course, I love embarrassing my children. It's too good because they're teenagers, but it really is just that next thing that you can do. When I look at my vision board, I look at my future me, and I mine's all about location freedom, financial freedom, time freedom. I'm going to dance every time money hits my bank account. So something that you can do, that's your challenge for the week. And then, of course, if you are ready to break this cycle, this all or nothing cycle, definitely book a call with Lisa, her wealth alignment call. I'll let you explain what it is, Lisa, but it is something that I think for people who don't know where to start or need a little support on where to start. I've been there, I've done it, so I know. But Lisa, tell them a little bit about what that will look like if they book that call with you.
Yeah, a wealth alignment call is just what it says, wealth alignment. We're going to kind of go into seeing where you're at, where you're stuck, 5 wealth codes, and even better, this episode is actually coming at a great time. I'm having, I'm going to look and make sure I'm right. Yes. Okay. It releases on the 3rd. Had to make sure. I have build to bank. So, if you're ready to actually dig into learning even more, yes, you can have the wealth alignment call. That's a 30-minute call, but then there's a free 90-minute masterclass that's called Build to Bank. And it's on Tuesday, November the 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're in that masterclass, I'm going to be going over the 5 wealth codes and the 3 profit leaks, and you're going to be able to learn and walk away with a strategy that you can actually do consistently, right? Start small, start consistently, and be able to see, oh, I might have a leak in this area, or I might have a leak in this area, and this is how it's affecting how I'm managing or making money. And so it's not overwhelming. The whole key is to be able to show how it affects all areas of your life, and maybe something is out of alignment. And so we dig into it either at the 30 minutes, like one section of it area, and build to bank will actually give you make you see all the things. And then even from build to bank, if you want to do a wealth alignment call, you're able to do a wealth alignment call to work on, just that one little key area.
Yeah, I love that. And of course, all the links will be in the show notes, guys.
Mhm.
So next month, next time, we are diving into the silent cost of financial avoidance. Oh, I don't want
Why
to.
ignoring your numbers doesn't protect you, and how it secretly drains your wealth. And of course, my favorite, how AI vision boards can help you face your money with confidence instead of fear. Because guess what? It can.
Yeah, and if you're shivering in your boots, so am I. Don't worry, I'll be with you along the way. But remember, awareness is always key. That is the stepping stone number one. That's how we start. So we will see you next month for that. We can't wait, and we're so
Okay.
excited for you guys to join us. Have yourself a fantastic one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.